Money World Podcast, Episode 1, going from $1 to $1 million and beyond. So it's a simple concept. This is a rule of thumb, something that I learned a long time ago. Ironically, it was a video about writing ebooks or something, and the person had a great concept, but there was other things there. It was the idea of online marketing before it was, affiliate marketing essentially, right? Affiliate marketing before it was, popular, before it was even known as affiliate marketing, and it was just the idea that once the internet, internet was a thing, right? There was a lot of people trying to make money on the internet. And then, some people found ways to do so. One of those ways was through affiliate marketing, right? Pretty much being a middleman, selling something in behalf of somebody else and getting a cut through the interaction, right? So what was interesting was like they were asking the guy for, advice on, doing the affiliate marketing thing, online and whatnot. And just the idea of like, what advice can you give somebody to become successful? And he just said the most basic thing is like, you need to learn how to make $1. You need to learn how to make $1 online. Too many people are obsessed with the idea of like, oh, I want to learn how to make $1 million. I want to learn how to make $1 billion. I want to learn how to be this. I want to learn how to be TikTok famous, YouTube famous, this and that. How do I get 1 million subscribers, right? People always talk about how they want to learn how to do big numbers, big things. What they don't seem to understand is that those big things consist of a lot of small things, right? It's the big picture concept, right? A puzzle, like the big picture is a puzzle piece, a puzzle, right? A puzzle. Every individual puzzle piece is the individual puzzle piece, right? You need all these little puzzle pieces to create this big picture. So for example, to go from $1 to $1 million, right? You have to understand what is $1 million, right? If you want $1 million or $1 billion or whatever, you have to understand what it is. What is it? What's $1 million? It's $1 million, right? 1 million individual dollars. So you take $1, multiply it by 1 million, and you have $1 million. So when you take that big number, right, that big picture, as it were, and break it down to its smallest thing, right, you get to $1, right? No billionaire, trillionaire, millionaire, whatever, no rich person, right, unless they got lucky by winning the lottery, inherit their wealth. Most people who became millionaires or billionaires started off with zero, right? Started off with no money. Then they made $1, $2, $3, right? Now the number could be different. They could have started off and immediately made $1,000. That's great. Or they made, $10 off of mowing lawns or something. The point is that you start from the bottom, work your way up. You started somewhere. You don't start at 1 million. Some people were fortunate to start at 1 million, but not everyone starts at 1 million. Most people start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10,000, right? Some people start at a low number, and the goal is to get to that big number, right? So, for example, Bill Gates wasn't born yesterday, right? Woke up today, and automatically, he's over 60. He's a multi-billionaire. He has a company, and that's it. Like if that's just by default. Like Bill Gates didn't learn to be a billionaire. He became a billionaire. There's a difference. He didn't learn how to make billions of dollars. The actual first thing he learned to do was computer programming. He learned to be interested in computers before computers was even a common, very highly popular thing like how it is now. He learned how to mess with computers. Then he learned how to be friends with other people who also have the same interest in computers, right? Networking. He started, expanding his association, started, learning new things about computers, interacting with more people until he started getting into opportunities where he's able to create Microsoft, right? Create a business off of computers, off of something off of something he learned. So he started from somewhere, right? He didn't just instantly have Microsoft and instantly have billions of dollars. No, he started off from scratch. He built his way up to billions. So you have to do the same thing. So if you want to, quote unquote, learn how to make $1 million, you first have to learn how to make $1 in the first place. If you can't do that basic, simple thing, learn how to make $1. If you don't have the knowledge of making a single dollar, then you can't understand and learn how to make $1 million. You know, and I see that a lot. Like how many people talk about, oh, when I have $1 million, I'm gonna do this, this, that, and third. I'm like, all right, cool. I like those ideas of what you want to do with $1 million. All right, so what you're gonna do to get there? I don't know. Win the lottery? Okay, that could happen. What else you got? What else you're gonna do to reach this $1 million goal? There's usually nothing. A lot of times it just boils down to luck. Like they just hope and wish that one day they'll just have $1 million. It's like that's not how it works. That's not how you become a millionaire or a billionaire. You don't just hope it happens. You don't wish it happens. You make it happen. You know? It's like wishing it's like wishing you get a paycheck every 2 weeks. No, you don't wish to get a paycheck every 2 weeks. You work for 2 weeks and get the 2-week paycheck. Right? You work for it. You do stuff so that way you get the paycheck. So you go get a job, do the job for 2 weeks, and you'll get a paycheck. That's how you get a paycheck, is by doing the work. So it's the same thing with getting, learning how to make $1 million. I mean, how to make $1 million. If you want $1 million, you got to learn how to make $1, and then learn how to do that 1,000,000 times. Right? That seems simple enough. And that's the thing. It is literally that simple, conceptually. Now, it might take you 10, 20 years to achieve the $1 million goal, right? But at least you learn how to make that $1 million by learning how to make $1 in the first place. The first thing is to learn how to make $1. Right? Right now, there's some women that realize, learn, right, that they can go on Onlyfans, show their boobies, and some strange person, some stranger that they don't know, never met, will give them $1 for their boobies. Yay! They learn how to make $1. All right, so that's one way, not the only way. Obviously, there's other ways you can make $1, but it's just the idea that you got to learn how to make $1. Once you learn how to make $1, then all you have to do is repeat that process multiple times. You know what I mean? Most people are, once they learn one way of making, of doing anything, they'll just keep doing that over and over again because they expect the same results. Just like a woman showing her boobies on OnlyFans, she made some money, and she'll keep doing it because, if it worked once, it should work 1,000,000 times. And technically, that is true. But not everything lasts forever. Always remember that. Not everything lasts forever, which is why it's important to learn how to make $1 in multiple times. Learn how to make $1 through, your phone, through a computer, right? Through Facebook, through Instagram, through YouTube, so forth and so forth, right? TikTok, OnlyFans, eBay, Etsy, Amazon, Kindles, right? Ebooks, get your music on iTunes, podcasts, so forth and so forth. So many different ways you can potentially make $1 in this world, because you got to understand that somewhere in the world, somebody's going to want something, and they'll be willing to pay for it as little as $1. They'll be willing to pay as little as $1 for it. So you got to make sure that you are in that position to sell somebody or to do something for somebody, or just be there to receive the $1. That's the main point. You got to understand that if you want, like some people think that they'll get lucky and get $1 million. Well, you better know, you better find where you need to be at to get that lucky. You got to know where that luck is going to be. If you're going to get lucky and somebody's going to walk up to you and hand you a briefcase full of money, $1 million, you better know where that location's at, and be there be there as much as you can, to receive that $1 million, right? Hypothetical. But the point is like, You got to make sure you're there, right? The only way you fail at something is by not doing something. So there's too many people there that always think about, oh yeah, you know, making $1 million off of an idea, but they don't even go from the idea to the first iteration of it. So like somebody has an idea for a song, for example. All right, well, make the song. But they're so busy thinking about becoming a platinum artist or traveling the world and living this lifestyle of somebody who's rich because they did music. They didn't even make the music yet. They're too busy thinking about the money from the idea of a song of music, but they haven't even done the music yet. And the first step is to make the music, right? Technically, 0 step, right, is the idea. That's step 0. Anyone can do that. Everybody has ideas. That's step 0. Step 1 is actually making your idea a reality, making your idea happen. So make your idea a reality, right? Make it exist, and then go from there. What's interesting about your idea, making it a reality, right? Taking that first step, right? Step 1, making your idea into reality, is that you learn how to make that idea. That's an important skill. That's something that's very important. Again, that leads to the whole, you got to learn how to make $1 before you can learn how to make $1 million, right? You got to learn the first step. So you got to learn how to create something. Like, for example, take your idea and create a song or an ebook or whatever, or a YouTube video. You got to create something first. Or a service, like learn how to cut hair and then start offering to cut people's hair for money, right? You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start. That's the most important thing. Most people don't start. They're too busy, like, oh no, I gotta be perfect. I gotta get signed to a label or something in order to do the music thing. No, you don't. You just need a beat, a microphone, some way of putting those two things together. You can use your phone, download some free app where you can put the beat in there that you got for free on the internet. Look for some free beats, and then make a song with that beat. Just record. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough that you can showcase your skill. And that's if you're really if you don't have to be great. Obviously, you can always improve over time. But I'm saying it's like if you think you're really good, a really good rapper or something, then go get a beat, rap on it real quick, and then put it out there. Put it on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth. Put it out there and see what happens. And if that gets popular enough and people start feeling you, then you can try to start, monetizing and start trying to make some money. You can do like some donation thing if people really fucks with you on the music tip, right? They can donate some money just to help you get some studio time, right? Get some that way you can upgrade from using your phone making a song to actually going to an actual recording studio and do it a little bit more professional and get some higher quality stuff and then work your way up from there. You gotta start somewhere. The point is no one starts off automatically signed to Death Row Records or some shit like that, right? And just starts making the first song off of that. No, you gotta start somewhere. You always gotta start from the bottom. You always gotta start off with $1, right? Learn how to make $1 first and then go from there. And that's a good skill to learn in the first place. Because there's a problem if you can't get $1. I've seen some people in situations where, like, they're asking for $1. Like, I need $1 because I want to get something to eat. I'm hungry. It's like, damn, that's sad that you don't even know how to make $1. Like, I understand it's hard to make 1,000, $1 million. Like, it's hard to make a good steady paycheck if you got no job. But you don't even have the skill to make $1 and you're begging for it. That's a problem when you're begging for $1. It's one thing if you are asking to borrow $1 and you'll easily pay it back because it's just $1. You know how to make $1, you can easily pay it back. But it's always unfortunate to see people that literally have trouble getting $1. And that's obviously for a different conversation, but that's just that goes with the mindset and lifestyle, because it's not like these types of people that I'm speaking about don't have ways of getting money. They're just irresponsible with it. And of course, the money comes in a big lump sum. Once they get that big lump sum, they just blow it and then they're broke again. And that's just, that's a different conversation. But I'm saying in general, it's like if they knew how to make a dollar and knew how to make a dollar inherently, like if they just knew how to make a dollar, they'll never have to worry about not having a dollar. Then the next step will be to make $10, $100, $1,000, right? 10x. So that's the next concept, 10x. Once you learn how to make a dollar, then you want to learn how to make $10. You want to make a dollar times 10. Then once you start being able to make $10, you want to 10x that. You want to do that 10 times, right? You want to make $10 10 times, and that's $100. You want to go higher and higher because you know it's not cheap to pay for phone bills, for transportation. Like even if it's public transportation, it's not cheap, right? Like where I'm at, it's almost like $90 or something like that, or maybe 80. I think it's $92 if I'm right, 92, 96, something like that, for a monthly pass, for a monthly bus pass, right, to use public transportation. So just traveling in your own city is cost you about $100, right, for a whole month. So you gotta start making 100 of it and do it more than once, right? So you gotta start off with $1 because our place is like $1. So for example, granted you need some change, for tax, but other than that, there's at least some places you can make those dollars count. That's why when you go from $1 to learning how to make $10, then the $10 can do more because again you'll still go to the dollar store and places like that where you can get things for cheap. And you don't want to stay at that point. Obviously, that's just to get you started, and you want to go up to making $100 because then you can afford you can afford better, right? Then you can afford to spend $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $20 on things you want, right? Instead of going to the dollar store and getting a whole bunch of cheap dollar items, now you can afford $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 items, $20 items, $50 items, right? So you can afford more. Right, so then the next step will be 1,000. Obviously, once you get to being able to make 1,000, earning 1,000, or at least having ways to make 1,000, then of course you can afford to do stuff like, big things like you can rent Uber to travel. You can rent at least a room, maybe a room or something similar, right? Maybe even a hotel room for one night or something like that. You get the idea. Like you can do more. Then the next step will be to go from the 1,000, right, to 10,000. 10x that, right? Once you get into the habit of making 1,000, then it's just a matter of doing that 10 times until you get to 10,000. And then now you're at 10,000. You can do bigger things, right? Obviously, you can definitely afford like a studio apartment at least, or maybe even be able to rent a whole house. For like 1,000 or 2,000, right, and rent a whole house. So you're doing bigger things, right? Things are getting better. You definitely should be able to get yourself a either you keep doing Uber, right, or you can get yourself a relatively cheap car, a used car, and go that route. And it just keeps going because obviously after 10,000, right, it's 100,000. Right? Once you get to 10,000 mark where you could do some pretty big things. Obviously, the next step would be 100,000, right? Being able to make 100,000. Of course, you can do way bigger stuff. Now you don't have to rent no more. Now you can just go straight up buy a house, which will definitely reduce your costs. Because before you're spending like let's say $2,000 a month to rent a house. Now you can just put $2,000 to it or more as a down payment for a house, and then over time paid it off, and then bang, own the house, and then now all you have to do is pay bills, and let's say at most your bills is $600. So you went from paying $2,000 a month to have a roof over your head to paying $600 a month to have a roof over your head. And let's say your taxes are like $500 or something like that. So then technically it's $1,100, but at least it's a lot cheaper than rent, right? And then the $500, it's not a monthly thing. $500 is from like a yearly thing. However, house tax, land tax works and all that stuff. The point is that you can do more and more over time. And then of course, if you can make 100,000, you can, definitely work up to making a million. The thing is, through the process, there's things you can do to generate. So let's go back down to one, right? Back down to $1. So, I personally, there's an app called Attapoll app, right? It's an app, right? Attapoll, Attapoll, and I use it to generate a minimum of $3. Right, that's the minimum cash out straight into my PayPal. I have a debit card that has access to it, plus my PayPal is connected to my bank, so I can always transfer it over and stack that money up. So if I do that every day, if I make the minimum $3 and cash it out every day for 30 days, that's $90. That's $90 a month with an app. Just an app installed on my phone, doing these little surveys, making these little $3 a day. I can do that. I can do that while I'm on the bus and train, which I typically do. I'll be on the bus and the train. I'm earning this little money since I'll be here at work, and I'm at work right now, by the way. So I'll be here, and I already made like a little over $1 already. So of course, on my way when I go home and I'm on the train, I'm make the other $2 and cash out and make another $3 for today. Today is currently Wednesday. I already made $3 yesterday, which was Tuesday. So and the day before you get the idea. So I'm already generating $3 a day. So just with that app, I'm generating $3 a day, which is $90 a month. Which is, let's round it up to 100, and then 12 months. That's $1,200 a year. So that's over $1,000 a year off of an app. I just put an app on my phone, bang. I can generate $1,000 extra dollars a year on top of the fact that I already make over $13,000 a year. You know what I mean? So that's extra money. That's not even including my eBay, which generates a minimum $100 a month off of 10 sales. Typically, it's a minimum. I could always make more, but that's a minimum. So that's another 100. So that's another 1,200. Right? That's another. So over $1,000. I round it down to 1,000. So with the app, I generate 1,000 a year. With my eBay, 1,000 a year. So that's 2,000 a year just with that. Not to mention my job, which I already make 1,000 a month minimum with my job, so that's already over 12,000 right there. So then 12,000 plus the extra 2,000, that's 14,000 right there. $14,000 a year. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's still 5 figures. It's better than zero, right? Because I started off with $0 a year, right? I started off with not making money to building up. So now I have 5-figure income, right? 5 figures a year. Of course, I want to improve that and make that a monthly thing instead of a yearly thing. So 5 figures a yearly thing. I mean, a monthly thing would be awesome. So right now, just with the app, eBay, and my job, I'm generating I make about 1,200 plus 200, so 1,400, close to 1,500 a month. So if I can generate another 1,500, pretty much, right, that would get me to the 3,000 mark, and that'd be a pretty good start. 3,000, right? But then you want to keep going until you get to that 10,000. Right? You want to get to that 10,000. So I already started off with $1, work my way up to 10, work my way up to 100, got myself up to 1,000, right? And eventually, I get myself to 10,000. Making 10,000. And you don't have to make it all from one thing. The idea is to find multiple ways of making that money, multiple ways of making money. And every time I start something new, I always start with the idea of like, all right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to at least make $1. If I can't make $1 off of this thing, then this thing is not profitable. It's good. If I can't make $1 off of it, I definitely can't make $1 million, right? I can't make a 10, 20, make 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, so forth. So the first thing you gotta learn is to make sure that you learn how to make $1. Everything you do that you want to do, make sure you have the minimum is to make $1 off of it. Because once you learn how to make $1 off of that, whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking of doing, then the sky's the limit, right? Then it's up to you what you do and the efforts you put in that generates, right? Results will always vary when it comes to scaling, when it comes to making more money. The results vary. I can't guarantee you'll get to $1 million, right? What I can guarantee is that if you learn to make $1, right, you start off making $1. And I already gave you something as simple as Attapoll app. That is one way you can easily make quick $3 off of it, right? And I'll mention a couple other stuff, but that right there alone already generates you easily $3. And if you do it every day for 30 days, you'll generate $90 a month. So I already just showed you how to at least go from, just $1 concept, but automatically start off making $3 with your phone, right? Automatically start making $3, and then with time and effort, you can go up to 90. So you definitely went past 10x on that, right? You start off with $3 and work your way up to 90. So that I can guarantee, right? You got that. The next step is to, right, what you're gonna do with that $90, right? What you're gonna do with that money, right? So what you can start doing, obviously, is you can do stuff like CD accounts. These are accounts where you can put your money in and leave it there for long periods of time, 3 months, 6 months, up to a year, year and a half. I think they have up to 2-year options. It depends what bank you use. I use Ally Bank, by the way, ALLY, Ally Bank. So that's what I use. They have CD accounts in there, and most they have like 1.25 APY, and 2.25 APYs, depends on the length. But you definitely want something with at least a minimum of 1% and above, 1% APY, right? And annual percentage per year, something like that. I think that's what the APY stands for. So minimum 1%, because whatever you put into the CD, you would generate 1% of that. So if you have $1,000, 1% of $1,000 is, double checking, I think it's $10. So that's the start, right? So there's a way you can generate $10, right? But if right, they disperse that. Give me a second, thinking. Depends how it works. I'm still not an expert when it comes to the API stuff, but your goal is, once you open up a CD account, you can open up multiple. By the way, I have like 4 CD accounts. I plan to, when they're done, condense them and put all the money into like one CD account, and then open up another CD account once I have enough to open up a bigger one. I want to have like at least 1,000 per account, because right now I got most of my accounts are like $500, $200, and I want to condense that. I want to put, instead of having 2 $500 accounts, I want to have $1,000 accounts. So I want all my accounts to at least have 1,000 each, and that way, because of the bigger percentage of the amount, 1% or 2% of that bigger lump sum will generate me bigger returns, right? Bigger interest returns. So that's what I want. I want more money to come out for the fact that I have more money in, right? So more money that I save into the CD account, more money I'll generate from it. And then the goal is to a minimum, you want to generate at least $1 a month. You always want to think monthly. So you want to think monthly. I'll make $1 a month per each account. So if you have 10 accounts, you're generating $10 a month, right? If you have 100 accounts, I don't know how many accounts I can make on the account, but in Ally Bank. But if I can make 100 accounts and they're all generating me $1 each, then I'm generating $100 a month, right? And I don't need to do this until like I'm generating $1 million a month, right? I mean, that could happen over time, but like I don't need it right away. Just the ability that I can make at least $1 at first, make $1 a month. And I'm already making a little bit more than, I think I'm making $10 a month or something around that rate with what I have in my CDs. But you get the idea. It's like you want to generate a certain amount. You want to start off making $1, then making 10. If you can get to 100, it's great. And if everything you do, generates you $100, then that adds up, right? Because then you just need 10 things that's generating you $100, and that's and that will be $1,000 a month, right? Because that's 100 times 10, so that should be $1,000. Now, if you have 20 things generating you $100, that's $2,000. Right? And the list goes on and on. The more stuff you have that generates you, $100, the more the more you have, obviously. But you want to, at some point, you don't want to stay just making 100 off of everything. If you can scale, right? If you can increase the amount that everything you do makes to $1,000, then if you have 10 things making $1,000, right? That's 10 times, right? $1,000 times 10,000. Yeah, that's 10,000. That's $10,000, right? So you don't have to do too much when it comes to making money. You just need to, just doing 10 things, but then making sure you scale each and every one of them evenly. So each and every one is generating you $1 each at first, then $10 each, then 100, and 1,000, right? Then 10,000, a million, and of course you'll get into bigger numbers. But you got to start off from the bottom. You got to start off with $1 first, work your way up to 10, 100. Because once you get to 100, you're definitely going to be stacking up thousands of dollars, right? You're going to be stacking up, and you're definitely going to be in the $1,000 range. And once you start making $1,000, you're definitely getting up there for the, for the 100,000, the 10,000s, the 100,000s, right? And that's the whole point. You want it to keep adding up. Ultimately, even if you don't get to a, generating $1 million all at once, or like in a year per se, even just making like 2,000 a year, 3,000 a year extra money on top of, having a job or whatnot, and having that money come in, and then you're using that money for, 10 years, that adds up. You got to think about the math. It adds up. You don't need $1 million all at once. It'd be awesome to have $1 million all at once. You can, however, spend 10 years spending $1 million, right? To me, that's the same thing as having $1 million all at once as spending it all at once. So I'd rather spend the next 10 years of my life spending $1 million, $2 million to live my life, to do the things I want to do, and just live, right? Than to, save, earn, right? All the way until the 10 years from now, and then start spending, right? So it's up to you which route you want to do. If you want to wait 10 years and then spend your $1 million or millions of dollars, that's up to you. But to me, it's not that different spending all that money now that you're generating, not your initial money. Don't as soon as you get a paycheck, immediately spend it. Then that's a bad idea, right? I want you to, if you make money, I want you to use it to make more money. That's the other step. It's not enough to just learn how to make $1. You need to learn how to make that dollar grow. You need to learn how to make that dollar go from $1 to $10. Now, one way obviously is find 10 different ways to make $1. That's how you can get to $10. Find 100 ways to make $1. You can get to $100. Find 1 million ways to make $1. You can make $1 million, right? Conceptually, that's simple and easy to understand, and you could obviously implement that. I don't have my list yet right here to look at, but I have at least 3 things that make me $100 a month. I already mentioned eBay. I mentioned Attapoll makes me, roughly $90. So that's almost 100. So I got at least those 2 things, and one other thing I forgot that makes me an extra 100 a month. So I got 3 things that makes me 100 a month. So that's 300 a month extra just off of those 3 things. Not to mention the stuff that makes me $10 a month, $1 a month. The minimum is $1. Most things that I do make me at least a minimum of $1. Of course, the idea is to take those things that they're currently only making me $1 and get them to making 10, right? It's all about getting to the next level. I've been busy with a lot of different things in my life, so I haven't been scaling. But the thing is, I have these things still generating me money. These things that are making me $1, again, they're still making me $1. And I don't even have to do anything because I already did what I was supposed to do, and they're making me $1 without me doing anything. Now, when I put the time and effort into them to get them to making $10, $100, $1,000, well, then you know it's going to be big money. And again, they will just be doing it by default. So something that I'm working on right now is CD accounts, right, and Robinhood. So I'm doing the investing thing, right, investing in stocks, dividend stocks specifically, and they're generating me dividends, right, they're generating me money. So by putting my money into the stocks account, into the stocks, I'm making money. So I'm getting money from the companies that I put money into. So I'm generating money that way. And I'll be getting most of that dividends, as they call it, monthly. And at least I want each and every stock that I own, I want to put enough money into them to generate me, obviously, like this whole video is, this whole podcast is about, is making $1 minimum, right? Making $1. So I want the dividends to be a minimum of $1. Minimum. Obviously, my goal is to go beyond that. So a minimum. Got to make sure that they can generate that. And they have. The past couple of months, they have been generating me some good money. I've been using that money that I get, and I put it right back into the stock market. I put it back into the stocks that it paid me those dollars in the first place. I'm putting it back into them, so that way I can keep getting, so one, I can grow my my stock, right, portfolio by getting more dividend stocks, putting money into other stocks, and growing it that way. And there's another reason for why I'm diversifying and not, into different stocks. But I just want to focus on the fact that I put my money into stuff that's giving me money, right? That's giving me $1. So that's the thing about learning how to make $1. The fact that I learned that dividends is a thing, that if I put money in certain companies, it would give me, if I put like at least $100 into the stock, if they have one or more APY, interest, right, the dividends will be, approximately $1, So it's like, all right, so then that is a good reason for me to put $100 into that stock, because I would get $1 a month, or whenever they pay. But the main thing is I'll generate $1. So then if I have 10 dividend stocks and have 100 in each of them, and of course 10 times 100, that's 1,000, right? But at least I have $1,000 in stocks, right, that are generating me $10. And that might not sound great because 1,000 is a bigger number than 10, but still $10. Remember, you're listening to the numbers. Each stock, right, is paying me out $1 a month, roughly, right? $1 a month. And I have 10 of them, so that equals up to $10. So I'm going from $1 to $10. And then the $10, of course, the reason I'm making that is because I put in $1,000. So where did I get the $1,000 from? Obviously, I was doing stuff to make the money, to be able to even have 100 per investment, right? So since I got $10, obviously I can put that $10 into something else, right? So I can put that $10 into the 11th dividend stock, for example, right? And then wait until I get another $10 from the first 10, right? And put that into the 11th one, and keep doing that until, and how to do that is, in order to put 100 in there, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 10 times, right? So I just got to put the $10 into that 11th account, right? 11th stock 10 times. So put $10 in there 10 times, that's $100. Then that stock will generate me $1. So then I go from making just $1 from one to making 10 from 10, right, off of $1,000. Now I'll have 100 and $1,100 or $1,100 generating me $11, right? And then of course keep that process going, right? Because I'm slowly building up to noticing that the amount that's invested, notice that that's going up. I went from $1,000 to 1,100, then I'll be at 1,200, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 2,000 eventually. So at some point I'll be at 2,000, and then they'll be generating me a lot. Like I might be generating 200 a month, right? So then that's 200 a month with the 2,000. So I started off with 100, making me $1, to 200, making me $2, and then kept building up until now I have over $2,000 invested, and then I'm generating, like $200 a month that I can put towards anything I want, right? And then of course you don't want to just keep doing this thing over and over again, because that's just over exaggerated, right? But you want to do enough that you can generate some money, so that we always have access to money, and then you can save it up. Because if you can save up $100 or $1,000 from the dividends and stuff like that, and from the interest from the CD accounts, and then find an opportunity where it's like, oh, here's an opportunity where I can put $1,000 into that thing. I could start a business, like a haircutting business or a right? Like I was saying, there's different ways to generate $1. You can obviously sell ebooks, and you can sell music for $1. You can even make money just from streaming. Just for people listening to music, you can make money through YouTube videos. You can ironically ask for money. You can do Twitch. You can get donations. You can do video, streams on YouTube and get super chat money or something like that. There's many different ways to get money. You can sell merchandise. Obviously, you could sell shirts, print on demand. Like if you're good at like Photoshop or drawing or creating designs or something like that, or you're creative enough to be able to find images that are free, royalty free, that you're allowed to use however way you want, and then mix them together, like Photoshop them together, right? Edit them together, that's what I'm saying. Edit them in a way that you can make like a cool design, and then put that on a website like Zazzle.com and upload it there, and then make a bunch of shirts, hoodies, hats. Masks is a new thing now. You could put your design on masks and cups and iPhone cases and so forth and so forth. So you can obviously generate money that way. And there's many other ways to make money. One of the simplest thing you should do, this is something I do a lot, is literally type up how to make $1. Like I said, that's what this podcast right now is about, right? Is how to make $1. Because making $1 million, that just comes from a lot of time and effort, and just using the knowledge of how to make $1 and just using it over and over and over again to generate that big lump sum. Because technically, if you want to make $1 million real quick, right, sell a house for $1 million, right? Sell a mansion for $1 million. So Lamborghinis, they're what, 250,000? Sell 4 of them, bang, there's $1 million. Like, that's the thing. It's like people understand the concept of what they could do to get $1 million. The thing is, they're not in the position to do those things. You don't have 4 Lamborghinis to sell to make $1 million. You don't have a company that is worth millions of dollars and you're ready to sell it for millions of dollars, right? You're not in those positions to do that. So that's why the whole idea of like, oh, learning how to make $1 million. First, you got to learn how to make $1, because in the position you're in, the most you probably can make or know how to make is probably $1,000 at most a month. And the way you know how to make it is just having a job. That's all you know how to, when it comes to making money, is just go to work. Well, you need to learn more. And that's why I say learn how to make $1. Learn how to make $1 from whatever you want to do. Go on the internet and look for what people are doing. If people are doing podcasts, for example, and they're making money from it, all right, learn how to do a podcast. See if you can make $1 from a podcast. Once you learn how to, make sure you get $1 for having a podcast, then you know how to go from there. You know how to make 10 from the podcast, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 from the podcast. It's just a matter of time and effort. But the first thing you gotta learn is how to make $1. Because you gotta understand that the way you get money is from other people. In order for somebody to give you $1, you gotta give them something or do something that will make them want to give you the dollar. Think about it. The way Jeff Bezos has has billions of dollars is because people are giving him that money. You have to understand that you gotta learn how to give to get, right? You gotta learn how to give people something that's worth giving you $1, worth giving you $10, 1,000, 100,000, 1,000,000. Jeff Bezos didn't get the $1 million all at once, right? The billions all at once. He built it up. Again, he started from the bottom and worked his way, right? So you gotta understand that the people who are rich right now, the ones who have billions and millions of dollars, right? They didn't start off making $1 million. They didn't start off making $1 billion. They didn't learn how to make $1 million. They didn't learn how to make $1 billion. They learned how to make $1 first. And even before that, they learned a skill. They learned how to do something, how to create something, and then they learned how to use that something that they created or learned to make $1. So learn how to cut hair, you'll make $1. Learn how to do nails, you'll make $1. Learn how to do piercings. Learn how to do tattoos, and the list goes on and on. That's just some small examples. Because I know some people who do these things, and they make pretty good money doing these things. And they could make more if they had the entrepreneur mindset to expand. They can make more money from their nail business, their tattoo business, their piercing business, their mask business. I use my mother as an example. She makes money selling masks. Definitely the pandemic was a reason for masks, and she had the skill to make masks. And she learned it, I should say. She had the skill to sew, but she needed the knowledge on how to make masks properly. So she went on YouTube, learned how to make masks. She already knew how to sew. She invested in a sewing machine and in fabric, material, things to make masks. I literally have one of her masks that she made for me in my hand right now. So she learned. She learned how to make the mask. And then she put a price on it, right? She learned how to make $1. And she makes pretty good money from it. So it's just a matter of if she was like me, I have the entrepreneur mindset, I would try to find a way to have the mass produce, design it, go online, promote the different designs, because she does different designs, and make it where people can order them, and bang, she can have it mass produced, or even have it where she could probably do like a print on demand thing, where she can have, whenever people order, that's when it'll get made. Instead of making it first and then try to promote it and sell it, she can have it as a print on demand. So it's just a matter of going the distance. That's called scaling, right? Again, results may vary. See, I know I can take her business and 10x it, right? I can go beyond what she's doing. She's making good money every month from it, but I can go beyond that because I do the internet thing. I go beyond that. I can turn it into a big business. I can go beyond, but it's her thing, not my thing. I got my own stuff I'm working on. I am trying to get into the mass business, don't get me wrong, but in my own way. She does her thing, I do my thing. The point is that she learned how to make $1. And if she wants to go beyond that, that is up to her. Right? Results may vary. Same thing for me. I'm interested in making some money from masks. So if I end up making thousands, millions off of masks, for example, then there you go. That's That's the, of course, results may vary, but at least I learned how to make $1, right? She learned how to make $1. So then it's just my turn to learn how to make $1 off of MISCS, and bang, and go from there. 10x. What else? Mention stuff like eBay. That's another thing. Yeah, a little tip. There are ways to get stuff for free. Because remember, 2 ways to make money, right? Two ways to earn to make $1. Sell something for $1, for example, or do something for $1. You gotta understand those two processes. You either give somebody something for $1, with like an item, materialistic thing for $1, like a product or a product, right? Or a service. You can even count information as a service. Technically, you could also count it as a product if you put it somewhere where somebody can pay to get the information. But if you have knowledge, like if you're good at, I don't know, at exercising or like losing weight, you can charge somebody to teach them. You can like offer to teach them, and they'll pay you to teach them how to lose weight, or to help them lose weight, like to be their personal trainer. So that's a service, right? That's something you can do for somebody that they'll pay for. No different from having a job, right? But the things you have more control with. Uber, that's the thing, right? Drive people around, use your car to make money, rent out a room in your house or your whole house, make money that way. See, again, it's about understanding how to make $1. Once you learn how to make $1, then the sky's the limit. All you'll do is always try to look for ways to make $1, and of course that will always add up, because $1 eventually will become $10. $10 will become 100. 100 will become 1,000. 1,000 will become 10,000. 10,000 will be 100,000, and 100,000 will become $1 million. That's how you go from $1 to $1 million. But it takes the first step. You gotta start at $1. You don't automatically start at $1 million. You start at $1, but you don't always have to start off at $1. It's just that's a good start. There's some people who are fortunate enough to start off at $1,000, right? Immediately start making 1,000, and it's like, all right, cool. Keep doing it. Do that multiple times. Do that 1,000 times. Make it $1,000. You'll get to $1 million, right? So it's just take steps, because at some point you like I was saying, I started off with the whole $1 thing, but at some point it's like, nah, I can always start with like $100, $1,000, 10,000. I'll get to the point where when I do something, the minimum won't be $1, right? That's just my philosophy. That's what I'm starting off with. If the best I could do at first is make $1, which is better than nothing, got to start somewhere, right? And then 10x and go beyond that, then I'm doing good. But at some point, I'm going to get to a point where, like, all right, now I can just easily start off $1,000 as my minimum. Everything I do from now on will just be 1,000. So that's the thing. If I still do the $1 thing, just I'm trying to get started on certain things, and baby steps, as it were. So I'm doing the $1 thing as baby steps, but at some point, I'll be like, all right, now it's time to start doing 10, 100, 1,000. Like at some point, I'm going to start having to do bigger things, because I'll be doing bigger things, right? I'll be able to afford to do bigger. So once I can afford to do bigger, I'll do bigger, right? Don't settle for less, but always start with less. That's what I'm saying. Never settle for less, because you can always get more, right? So never settle for less, but always start off with less. Like if you're going to invest in the stock market, start off with $1, then go up to $10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, so on and so forth. Work your way up. Start from the bottom. Start with $1 and work your way up. You'll make it, and doing it that way, if for some reason things happen and it doesn't work out, problems happen, at least you started from the bottom. So that way when you fall, so to speak, shouldn't happen, but if it does, and you fall, the fall will be less. So if you started off with $1 and worked your way up to $10, and then suddenly you went back down to $1, all right, that sucks. But hey, you're still at $1. You're still making money. At least you're not 100% broke, right? In that scenario, you just gotta work your way back up to 10, then go to 100, and 1,000, and to 1,000,000 and beyond. So that's just all you gotta think about, is just work your way up little by little, and then you'll eventually will develop the skill sets, the mindset, which is the most important thing, right? It's one thing to have skills, another thing to have mindset, because with the proper mindset, you will always know what to look for. Just like I was saying earlier, I think I didn't finish my statement, which was the idea of going on the internet and literally typing up on how to make $1. And I do sometimes check how to make $1,000, how to make $1 million, right? Just to see what's out there. But it's always trash. It's entertaining. I watch it more for entertainment than anything, watching videos and reading, articles on how to quote unquote make $1 million, but it never equals literally how to make $1 million. A lot of times it just be, theoretical stuff like, hey, if you invest in Bitcoin when it first was cheap, you'll be a millionaire right now. It's like, yeah, but that's not something I can do right now. I would literally have to go back in time in a time machine to do that. Not possible, right? I can't do that. So since I can't do that, I need something I can do. And what I can do is learn how to make $1 and then go from there. Another thing you can do, right? Just a thought that popped into my head. For some of the people that talk about, oh, I can, I'll hit the lottery one day and make $1 million, but they never buy a lottery ticket, which always really annoys me. It's like, wait, you're talking about winning the lottery and getting having millions of dollars winning the lottery, but you actually don't play the lottery. You notice how that doesn't make sense? You're wishing to win something that you're not even playing. You're not playing the game, which is lottery. So of course you're never going to win the lottery. So you guarantee you're never going to win the lottery because you actually don't play the lottery. That's why it's important to learn how to make $1, because you can at least use that $1 to get a $1 scratch off from one of those lottery ticket machines, and hopefully, turn that $1 into $20 and so forth and so forth. And part of why I'm mentioning this is because I've done this myself. I've actually was in a scenario where I had a $1. The $1 turned to $5. The $5 turned to 20 through scratch offs, through the $1 scratch offs. And then I took the money and then I bought some stuff, sold it on eBay, made more than the $20, and then just kept going from there to the point where I started generating $300 a month. This was before COVID and stuff like that, and I was generating a minimum of $300 a month. Now I'm generating minimum of $100 a month from eBay, but there was a time where I was making a minimum of $300 a month. So think about that. Of course, I want to get back to generate $300 a month, but I'll get back to that stuff. But right now, $100 a month ain't bad. I'm more interested in trying to make $100 a month from everything else that I'm doing, especially the stuff that's just generating me $1 a month. I definitely want to, 10x those things and balance everything out and make more money. And I'm looking towards other stuff, doing credit cards. There's a lot I'm doing. I just wanted to put out this idea because it works for me. It's simple concept that hopefully you by now can understand, grasp, and be able to implement as soon as you're done with this podcast. Go out there and learn how to make $1. I already gave you, something real quick. You can use Attapoll app. Hopefully I remember to put the link for the app in the description. That way you can, get started. Should be a link, Pocket Money link for my Pocket Money page from my website, and there's information there on how to make money as well. There's stuff for Robinhood, CD and stuff. A lot of good information there, for free, right? A lot of free information there for you to make money, because I definitely want people to learn this concept of learning how to make $1, because the future is the internet, right? The future way of making money is through your phone and through the internet. So it's very important that everybody hurries up and start learning this important skill, which is making $1 online. Most important. Making $1 in real life, that requires certain other attributes, right? But on the internet, it should be way easier to make $1 on the internet through technology, and that's the whole point. Learn the skill of making $1 through technology, and the sky's the limit afterwards. Because the more effort you put, the more you can make. And I make really good money just by sitting on my ass being on the internet. So if I can do it, you can do it too.